9:30 right now, and we're checking out the weather and the traffic trouble. The headache has been Bart.
It has been, yeah, for quite a while now. In fact, let's start with Raina Harvey in the traffic center, get the update on the situation as it stands right now. Raina.
It's pretty much been the situation all morning long. We still have a major delay on the yellow line. That's the Antioch line in the Antioch direction and SFO direction. So if you're just tuning in at the start of the morning, they had a grass fire in that area, and so they had to cut the power. And so for a time, trains could not even get from Concord to Pleasant Hill. They only had those buses, and they were busing people from the station to station. So now they've restored the service on that line. However, it's still really slow. They're also still providing mutual aid, which is they're also still providing those buses from Concord to Pleasant Hill just to try to help use all the resources they have available. So things are still pretty slow. Factor that in. A lot of folks that we're talking to that was at the BART earlier this morning said they were just going to drive into work. So you're also seeing an uptick in traffic on the roads, like 15 minutes as you're heading from the Maze to that Fremont Street exit. That's improved since we last checked in there. A little under 14 minutes as you're heading across towards the peninsula via the San Mateo Bridge. Well, our Richmond Santa Fe Bridge, about a 10-minute drive as you're traveling along the Tollstone 101, and we're still seeing that fog, and so that's taking us up about 10 minutes along the Golden Gate Bridge, 37 to the toll. So we're looking at fog here. This makes it seem like the day is just really foggy out there, but John, this is not really what's happening across the Bay Area, right?
Yeah, you know, that's just the Golden Gate Bridge up to its stuff. Always a little foggy out there, it seems like, even when the rest of the Bay Area is sitting under nothing but sun. And we've got a mix of it all this morning. Definitely some foggy patches at the coast and in some of our hillsides. Right along the Bay Shore, you've got patches of fog mostly sitting above you, and then inland it's nothing but the sunshine. And you can see some of that low gray from Sutro Tower right here. Although this fogcast says visibility is down below a quarter of a mile, that's really only as you head into the hills on the peninsula or the East Bay Hills too. Most of our bridge crossings, aside from the Golden Gate, are actually really clear. 50s and 60s for our Bayshore cities currently. We do have 78 for your current temperature in Brentwood, a sign of some of the hotter things to come later on today, which I'll get to in your full forecast. James and Daria?
Thanks a lot, John. 9:32. Let's get back to the breaking news, which was the trouble on BART that we've been seeing for the past few hours because of this brush fire.
Yeah, so that fire, as Raina said, did disrupt service for a while. We had team coverage on this. KRON 4's Will Tran in Pleasant Hill was talking with commuters and joins us now live once again. Will, good morning.
I mean, you think about it like this. That pipe that was clogged is all but unclogged at this time, guys, because you don't see that whole line of buses that we've been showing you all morning pull up and people basically sprinting off the buses to get to the platform. You only see one right now, and you don't see a bus on the other side taking people from Pleasant Hill to Concord. So, you know, the storm has passed, so to speak, and you can see only one person heading up the escalator. Yes, some people are still being dropped off by rideshare or their friends because they don't want to hop on the buses. Or, as we've seen some people this morning, they are just simply ditching BART and just hopping into traffic with their car. But the fast and furious pace that we have shown you since the 8 o'clock hour when we first arrived here, that is all but past. You can see people sauntering right now to the platform. So this is a sight for sore eyes if you're hopping on BART. Still not full capacity at this time, but it looks like most of the heavy lifting is over because, as Raina has been all over this story, plus also this is over the hump of the morning commute as far as the rush of the morning commute, guys. So it's nice and calm here, and I'm happy to tell you that. Back to you.
Well, that's good. All right, thanks a lot, Will.
Well, at 9:34, let's get to some more breaking news, this time out of San Francisco International Airport. We've been talking about that stabbing that occurred in the baggage claim area.
Yeah, and everything back in the baggage claim area is back to normal now, but they're just figuring out what happened. And KRON 4's Sarah Stinson has the info. Sarah?
That's right. A man in his 40s has been arrested for this stabbing that happened right here in the Terminal 3 baggage claim. You can see everything is back up and running, business as usual, but you can still see all of the yellow there. That is where the crime scene was, and they are still letting the area that was cleaned dry up. Now, this happened right here near Carousel 4. The man stabbed has been taken to the hospital with stab wounds and is expected expected to be okay. San Francisco police say the call came in just before 5 this morning. Officers found a man with stab wounds in this baggage claim, helped him until paramedics took him to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Officers located a man nearby, questioned and detained him. Police are investigating to see if the two men know each other and what led up to the stabbing, but they gained enough evidence, enough with that questioning to arrest the man. They just haven't told us any of the charges yet, his name. We only know he's a man in his 40s. Witnesses told police the man arrested is homeless. That's being investigated. There's also reports that the man stabbed is an airport employee. So a lot of things that we're still trying to confirm, but of course police, they are still investigating. So they're telling us, you know, we're hearing from witnesses it was a homeless man. We're hearing from witnesses that it was potentially an airport employee that was stabbed. We're going to reach out to the airport and see if they can confirm that, but at least we were able to confirm with you the man stabbed is okay, expected to be okay, and the man who's suspected of stabbing him has been arrested. There's no threat here, no threat to the public, no flights affected, so that's good news for people flying out today because, as you know, Daria James, it's already chaotic enough flying during these summer months. For now, I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, with delays and cancellations already on the high side. Thank you very much, Sarah.
It's 9:36 and still ahead on the KRON 4 Morning News. From the airport to now, the port workers in Oakland, they're protesting a law that affects independent contractors. We'll have the latest. And from port workers to railroad workers, they're not on strike. We'll talk about how that was averted and could it still foul things up. We'll see.
And fog certainly not on strike either. It has been rolling in each morning, and you can see it right above SFO. A little bit of sunshine mixed with it, too, though. A slightly less hot day for our inland areas. I say slightly because we're still in the 90s. Your forecast is ahead.
And BART is now moving back along the yellow line in the Antioch and SFO direction, but things are going to take you longer. Still see major delays out there. We'll have a look at that and your drive times once we get back.